Good evening, I am Faida Gaga. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online. Also, get all the latest news via Instagram, Facebook, and X pages at TBC Online. Russian ambassador to Tanzania, Andrei Avetissian, commends Tanzania for maintenance of peace and harmony as it prepares to mark 60 years of the union of Tanganyika and Zanzibar on the 26th of April this year. Ambassador Avetissian says Tanzania and Russia do enjoy historical ties with mutual benefits, insisting his country is zealously working to deepen bilateral ties.
My country recognized independence of Tanganyika the same day it was declared, which was the 9th of December 1961. And on the 10th of December of 1963, meaning the next day after Zanzibar declared its independence, my country recognized the independence of Zanzibar. But in fact, these relations go even deeper in history, because my country supported Tanganyika and Zanzibar in their struggle for independence. And since then, all these 60 plus years, we've been friends, we've been having very close and I'm sure mutually beneficial relations. First of all, when we speak about Russian-Tanzanian relations, all Tanzanians remember the education that many Tanzanians received in the Soviet Union and now in Russia. Thousands of doctors, engineers, the people of other professions here in Tanzania were educated in Russia, and they hold a very respectable place in their spheres of activities, be it doctors or engineers or any other professions. So indeed, now that we celebrate the 60th anniversary of the Union, we have something to remember, and which is even more important, we have something to look forward. Because although our political relations have always been very close and good, and our positions on many international, almost all international issues, for example, were close, our trade was not sufficient. And now we, at least our embassy, but in close cooperation with the government of Tanzania, are trying to increase the volume of our trade, not only trade, but due to the policy of openness and economic diplomacy, economic development of President Samia Suluhu Hassan and her government, we in Russia see a lot of opportunities for investment, for promoting, for example, tourism and other areas of cooperation.
Morogoro Region plans to commercialize the cultivation of spice crops so as to increase the regional and individual farmers' agricultural output. Speaking at a meeting involving region's business officials, the Regional Administrative Secretary, Dr. Musa Ali Musa, says that the region's economic development will be influenced by the presence of special commercial crops that will also boost household income, while the Morogoro Regional Commissioner, Rebecca Nsemwa, elaborates how the leadership of the district is organized in the implementation of finding markets for the crops.
Morogoro kama Morogoro ni mkoa hasa tunaita wa kilimo. Lakini
Morogoro is a region that is known as an agricultural region. You cannot speak about industries without talking about agriculture. These two are related. Morogoro practices tradition agriculture and has tradition industries. We have sugarcane crop, which produces sugar at a large amount, paddy crop for rice, among many other crops. Our industries are still performing well, and since the government wants us to continue to be innovative, Morogoro has decided to focus on spice farming. The main aim of this region is for it to be known as Morogoro Spice Aroma Hub.
Katika Tanzania.
We are well prepared, and under the leadership of our Regional Commissioner, Adam Malima, we are ready to ensure that Morogoro experiences agricultural and industrial revolution. We are very lucky since we also produce cloves that are similar to the ones grown in Zanzibar.
Watu wengi nikiwaambia Morogoro tunazalisha karafuu hawalewi. Ile karafuu ya Zanzibar. The Tanzanian Police Force is expected to host Regional Field Training Exercise FTX 2024 that will include 14 member countries of the Eastern Africa Police Chiefs Cooperation Organization from the 13th to the 18th of April 2024. Here are more details.
The Tanzanian Police Force spokesman, Deputy Commissioner of Police, DCP David Misime, says the joint exercise is expected to take place at the Tanzania Police School, Moshi, where about 670 officers, inspectors, and policemen and women of various ranks are expected to participate in the exercise.
Jeshi la Polisi Tanzania lingependa kujulisha umma.
The Tanzanian Police Force would like to inform the public that it will host a field training exercise in 2024 that will include 14 countries, federal members, and police chiefs in the East African region from April 13th to April 18th. The exercise is expected to be held at the Tanzania Police School in Moshi, where approximately 670 officers and inspectors of various ranks are expected to participate in the exercise.
Police Force spokesman adds that the exercise is based on resolutions reached by the heads of the East African Regional Police Federation in the annual meeting. He says in a meeting held in October 2021 in Kinshasa, in DRC Congo, the chiefs of police passed a resolution for this exercise to be held in Tanzania this year. He mentions the countries that are expected to participate includes the host, Tanzania, Burundi, Eritrea, Djibouti, DRC Congo, Kenya, Comoros, Ethiopia, Seychelles, Rwanda, Somalia, Sudan, South Sudan, and Uganda. Police Force spokesman further says that the aim of the exercise and other past exercise is to increase police officers' capacity of various ranks to identify, prevent, and solve crimes that cross borders such as terrorism, human trafficking, illegal drug trade, as well as share experiences and telegraphic information.
Mozambique is in the third and final day of the 3 days of national mourning decreed by the government in the wake of a devastating incident of shipwreck near the island of Mozambique that claimed the lives of 98 individuals. 29 people miraculously survived the ordeal, with several still receiving medical treatment in hospital. These survivors recount their harrowing journeys and the overwhelming challenges they faced in their desperate attempts to reach safety after their vessel overturned.
Ansha Gulamu, a pregnant woman from Lunga village, is one of the survivors of the boat accident that killed 98 people in Mozambique last Sunday. I got help from a man who carried me away from the boat. He helped carry me and some of my children. The other children I lost. Dina Jaime is another survivor. She lost her 4 children. My children fell into the sea and drowned. A 2-month-old baby also survived the accident. The baby is one of the 7 people still receiving treatment in hospital. These 2 children, aged 5 and 7 years, lost their mother. 10 people from their family were on the boat that capsized. Rabia Ibrahim was also on board and managed to survive. Thank God I'm alive. What happened was terrible. It was painful seeing children and women dying like that. I survived by holding on to a bucket. A man shouted to me to keep holding the bucket. This is a family graveyard. 14 people were buried here in just 4 graves. We had to bury them in mass graves because there were too many bodies. We couldn't dig graves quickly enough to bury them. More than 130 people were on board this fishing boat, fleeing from their village, apparently from a disease outbreak. Witnesses speak of a mysterious disease that in some houses killed 3 to 5 people. Health authorities say that there is no such disease in Lunga village. There is no cholera. As health officers, we may not have concrete news as to why the people were this agitated. What happened may be the result of disinformation. The Mozambican president is working in Nampula province where the accident happened. Filipinos went to Nampula to celebrate the end of the Muslim fasting month of Ramadan and ended up comforting the families that lost loved ones in the tragedy. We want to say once more that we are with you in these painful times. We were not able to prevent what happened, but we remain with you always. Mozambique is observing 3 days of national mourning until next Friday in memory of the 98 people who died traveling from Lunga to Mozambique Island in Nampula province. 3 people are still missing. The government has set up an inquiry commission to find out why this small fishing boat was allowed to carry passengers. Passenger boats and fishing boats operate from different locations.
The University of Dodoma, in collaboration with the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has started to provide training to teachers to enhance the teaching and learning methods of mathematics and science subjects so as to boost the number of female students in science subjects at the Songwe region. Here are more details.
The remarks have been made by management of the University of Dodoma in cooperation with the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, while speaking to TBC News during the training held at the Viwawa Secondary School in the Mbozi district. They say the training aims at helping to increase the number of female students in science studies in the region and the bordering regions. They insist the project to provide training for teachers is a strategy to support the government's efforts to ensure that female students study and achieve their goals in science subjects.
Baada haya mafunzo sisi Chuo Kikuu cha Dodoma na UNICEF.
After this training, us, the University of Dodoma and UNICEF, expect a positive response from young girls and boys to pursue science subjects, and will also experience the use of ICT as a teaching method and environmental conservation.
Kwamba kutakuwa na utunzaji wa mazingira.
Sisi tunauchukulia mradi huu.
We consider this project as a very important part of supporting the government's efforts. I'm saying because our government has put a lot of focus on science subjects. That's why our president has taken the initiative of investing in areas of science and technology, and in every region we have girls' schools that teach science subjects. All secondary schools for boys and girls will have capable and trained teachers.
Wanashirikishwa katika kujengewa uwezo.
Vice President Dr. Philip Mpango has donated food, including maize, rice and beans, to a childcare center specific for children living in difficult conditions located in Kasulu district in Kigoma region as part of giving them a chance to celebrate the Eid holidays. Speaking after handing over the items on behalf of the Vice President, Acting District Commissioner of Kasulu District, who is the District Commissioner of Buhingwe District, Colonel Michael Ngayalina, says Dr. Mpango's action is a symbol that should be imitated by many in giving support to those in need in the community.
Vifaa hivi tumevileta kwa niaba ya Mheshimiwa Dr. Philip Isdori Mpango, Makamu wa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania.
We have brought these supplies on behalf of the Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania. He has seen it is a right to come and celebrate with these children, even though he is far. But these children will get to feel loved, cared for, and how the government value their life and welfare.
On the other hand, some of the children raised at the center thank the Vice President for the support and congratulate the government for continuing to be at the forefront in serving groups of people in need.
Abundantly so that he can celebrate with us again next year.
What he has offered us has really helped us. May the Lord bless him.
1,500 young Tanzanians from various universities in the Morogoro region are expected to gather and undergo training that aim to equip them with better skills and understanding on business opportunities available in the country and region. Here's a report by Remy Asante, read to you by Teddy Parnyanga.
According to the Population and Housing Census of 2022, it shows that Tanzania has a total of 61 million people, and a large percentage of the population is said to be young people. The challenge that continues to face young people in the country is unemployment.
Sometimes your subconscious makes you to do the opposite. Do not allow that. Sometimes it pushes you to gamble. Do not let that happen.
In order to solve the challenge, a total of 1,500 young people from universities in the Morogoro region are expected to be gathered and undergo training on business opportunities.
Most of university students have a negative perspective. We think that we study hard in order to get employed. That's why when we don't get a job, we end up getting disappointed.
Furthermore, the call continues to be given to the young people group in the country.
We aim to build youth who are well capable and knowledgeable about practical issues apart from school. We will cooperate with the various stakeholders who have been cooperating with us for a long period of time. So through this event, we will provide tips on how to start their lives and solve various challenges.
Various stakeholders in the country commend the government of Tanzania for endorsing the change in the National Electoral Commission, including its name to Independent National Electoral Commission, believing that the change will add value in the political sphere. The renaming of NEC comes a few days after a bill to amend the National Electoral Commission was approved by Parliament and subsequently endorsed by President Samia Suluhu Hassan.
The Independent National Electoral Commission will bring great changes in the political sphere. It is a process that has been awaited for a long time. I would like to congratulate President Samia Suluhu Hassan for creating a friendly political environment. President Samia Suluhu Hassan has made a great move in political sphere. I believe that by the year 2024 and 2025, election will be based on justice. The Independent National Electoral Commission will focus on justice, equality, and transparency. We are grateful to experience a massive reforms in political aspect.
Tanzania's National Electoral Commission will officially transition to the Independent National Electoral Commission starting from the 12th of April 2024. Now, before we wind up local news, let's have a look at today's exchange rates according to the Bank of Tanzania, BOT. Do not miss TBC News every weekday to know all the latest in exchange rates. Stay tuned for all the latest in international news. And here's international news as compiled and read by Nyambona Masamba.
Severe floods are affecting towns in southern Russia and Kazakhstan after Europe's third longest river burst its banks. More than 100,000 people now have been forced to flee their homes. The water level of the Europe River in a southern Russian city of Orenburg has reached a record high. Officials say the worst is still yet to come in some places. Tens of thousands of houses have been flooded in Orenburg. The water level in Europe River has reached 10 meters, and everybody is expecting peak of the disaster. To Latin America, Mexico is calling for Ecuador to be suspended to the United Nations until it issues a public apology for raiding a Mexican embassy. Police raided the embassy last week on Friday to arrest Ecuador former Vice President Jorge Glass. He was granted political asylum by Mexico after being convicted of corruption. Glass is now going on hunger strike in a protest against his arrest. His lawyer said he attempted suicide while in prison earlier this week. The prisons say he was taken to the hospital on Monday after he refused to eat food and became ill. To East Asia, rebels fighting Myanmar junta say the government forces appear to have fled a border region after they took it over. The violence has been escalating near the border town of Mayawadi. The Thai soldiers have been patrolling that area, and the civilians from Myanmar have been also trying to flee. An alliance of anti-junta rebels have made advances against the military in recent months. The Myanmar rebels say they have defeated Barbarian. To Asia, South Korea's liberal opposition has secured a decisive win in a parliament election there. It is marking a major blow to the President Yoon Suk-yeol. The Democratic Party is gaining, obviously seen as an expression of discontent of the government.
That was international news. Sports news up next. And in sports news, the Deputy Minister for Arts, Culture and Sports, Hamisi Mwinjuma, has instructed the Tanzania Intellectual Property Rights Institution, COSOTA, to be more fierce in fighting against piracy as one of the ways to keeping and enticing more investors to continue investing in this sector, which provides employment opportunities to many Tanzanians. Speaking during the iftar organized by Multi-Choice Tanzania for art stakeholders, Deputy Minister Mwinjuma says investments made in arts must be protected in order to continue providing income to artists.
Now, we have revived COSOTA of this responsibility. We are giving them an even bigger role to continue overseeing other crucial matters. And anything you see fit to improve, the door is open. Come, let us discuss together so that the investment you're making in the music industry can pay for you.
Various companies have so far invested 30 billion shillings to produce works of art and provide jobs for artists in the country. In other sports news, Mgulani JKT basketball team head coach Frank Kusiga says Dar es Salaam Basketball Regional League continues to play a significant part in uplifting basketball in the country, especially due to the high level of competition compared to previous seasons. Coach Kusiga told TBC News in Dar es Salaam that the improvement of league structure this season has been instrumental in providing opportunities for all young players to form the best teams that are competing in highest levels.
For my belief, this season is going to be different for us as we have made significant changes from the last season and we are aiming for the cup.
Many teams this time have made good signings, so there are no weak teams. That's why it is very difficult to win the match.
The regional league continued with an early game between Mgulani, JKT and JKT, whereby JKT emerged victorious after outclassing their arch rivals by 66 points to 50. That's it for sports. Now, before we wind up, let's take a look at today's weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
This is Amina Saleh from Tanzania Meteorological Authority. Welcome to weather forecasting starting from tonight. The wind is expected to flow at the speed of 40 km per hour for the southern coast, and the state of the sea is expected to be rough.
Over the northern coast, the wind is expected to flow at the speed of 30 km per hour, and the state of the sea is expected to be moderate. Over the major lakes, the wind is expected to flow at the speed of 30 km per hour, and the state of the lakes are expected to be moderate. Tanzania Meteorological Authority had issued an advisory of strong wind reaching 40 km per hour and large waves reaching 2 meters over the southern coast. Rainfall model indicating chance of precipitation in most parts of the country, with the heavy precipitation over the southeastern highland toward the southern sector with the southern coast. Tanzania Meteorological Authority had issued an advisory of heavy precipitation over the southern coast, which include Lindi, Mtwara, southeastern highland, which include Njombe, Ruvuma, and Morogoro. For tonight, over the Lake Victoria Basin, west, northeastern highlands are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, thunder showers over few areas. Over the central, southeastern highlands, southern region, entire coast are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, rain showers over few areas. For tomorrow, over the southern coast, southern Morogoro, southeastern highland, and southern region are expected to feature cloudy condition, thunder showers over few areas, and sun interval. Over the Lake Victoria Basin, west, central, northeastern highlands, and northern coast are expected to feature partly cloudy condition, thunder showers over few areas, and sun periods. Now let's have a look on 4 days weather forecasting. From Tanzania Meteorological Authority, thanks for watching and have a good night.
And that marks the end of our news bulletin for tonight. I am Faitha Ngaga. Good night.